So the Bible has many different characters, many different people in the Bible with different stories. Some stories are heroic, some stories are horrific, some stories are devastating, some stories are inspiring, some stories we can't even fathom or we can't even wrap our minds around how someone would could go through it, how they could survive it, how they would withstand the um the state of warfare that they were in, physical and spiritual warfare that they were in during those times. And I do believe that we may not experience a season for every person in the Bible, but we may have a lot of eras in our life where we experience different um the same type of issues as the different people in the Bible had. We may have, you know, times in the Bible where we have our Job season where, everything is going wrong, everything is uprooted. We may have our David season where we are anointed and appointed for a thing, but there's that season from the point that up until the point that it comes to be, that you have to slay certain, giants. You have to take certain things down. You have to have the faith of a mustard seed. You may have your season where the enemy takes you up to your highest height, just like Jesus, how the enemy took him up to his highest height and promised him everything. He promised him the whole world. And you have to tell the enemy to flee. You may have different seasons or different moments, different times. It may not last for a whole season all the time, but you may have seasons where it may last for years. It may, you know, last for months or, 1 year, 2 year, 10 years. I mean, you just never know. But you may have different seasons in your life or different moments in your life that correlate with people in the Bible. And right now, what I want to talk about is the woman with the issue of blood. So to put that, for those who don't know, the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible, she was an unnamed woman, and she had an issue of blood where she seen different, doctors, practitioners, or whatever, trying to stop her bleeding, and no one could fix it. No one could help her. She was shunned in her community. She was outcasted in her community because that was seen as like a disease. No one wanted her around. She was shunned. She was looked at as if she had leprosy pretty much. And until she knew Jesus was coming to her town, and she knew that she had to get in his vicinity. And so many people were after him. So many people wanted to get close to him at this home that she knew that even if she touched the hem of his garment, because it was so packed and people pushing through, she pushed through the crowd and was able to touch the hem of his garment. And he felt some something leave from him when she touched when she touched his hem. Jesus felt something, leave from him. So I guess he felt, some of his energy leaving from him to heal her because she was healed. But it was her faith that healed her. She knew that if she only touched just the mere hem of his garment, she didn't even have to touch him, but just the mere hem, something that lie on him. It dragged on the floor, but she knew that if she could at least grasp that held some of his energy, that held some of his healing powers. And if she was able to grasp that she will be healed. And that's exactly what happened. She was healed. So the way that this may correlate in your life, you may not have an issue of, and mind you, she had this issue for 12 years. So they call her the woman with the issue of blood because she was bleeding consistently for 12 years nonstop. So imagine that. Wrap your mind around that, first of all. So you may not be physically bleeding for 12 years. You may be spiritually bleeding. It may be 12 years, it may be 20 years, it may be 40 years, who knows? And when I say spiritually bleeding, meaning that your blessings are running through you. You may get a blessing, but you can't quite hold it. You may get a blessing, but but something takes it away. Or people, um, you may keep having mishaps. You may keep getting put in, the wrong environments, the wrong situations, the wrong, you just keep getting riddled with wrongness. And every wrongness leaves a spiritual hole, and that attracts more wrongness because when you, when one spirit attracts another spirit, so there's another spirit that comes with this one thing here. So someone may leave you with the spirit of um, they try to lower your self-esteem. So they leave you with that spirit of low self-confidence. But that's going to bring in the spirit of low self-worth as well. And so that's the way that the spiritual realm works, is that one spirit attracts another spirit. So every wrongness that has been done to you, if you take that on, if you take it on, then it's going to attract other and other and other. So you may be spiritually bleeding for 12 years with no end in sight. You may not know why you're going through it, which it is for a reason, because everything is for a reason. Everything is spiritual. So you may not know why you're going through it. You may not know when it's going to stop, but you've been dealing with it for so long, and you tried to talk to different people. You tried to get advice. You tried going to your pastor. You tried going to different spiritual leaders, and nothing is seeming to work. Nothing works. Maybe your issue is holding your financial blessing. Maybe your issue is um, attracting and holding the right type of love in your life. Maybe your issue is your relationship with yourself. Maybe your issue is your relationship with your family. Whatever the issue is, you may feel like you cannot hold a blessing. You try to be a good steward over your blessings, but they don't seem to quite stick. They don't seem to quite hold. This may have been going on your whole life. So you may have been spiritually bleeding as long as you can remember. You may have inherited the issue of spiritual hemorrhage that may have been passed down to you. So your parents may have been spiritually bleeding or spiritually hemorrhaging. Your grandparents or your aunts or uncles or your, sisters or brothers, someone else in your family may have had the same issue. What I want to offer up, have you tried having faith? Have you tried surrendering your life, surrendering your all, surrendering everything that you have? That's not saying that you have to give up everything and, you have to have nothing. I'm not saying that. But have you tried surrendering your all to God? Have you made it known to Him that you surrender all? Do you have the faith of a mustard seed that if you can just get in His presence, and I mean truly get in His presence, and allow Holy Spirit to live in you and work through you, meaning nothing else matters. Even if you are shunned, or you're shunned by the community, you are ostracized by the community. It doesn't matter because you are surrendered and you are now one with God. You are now one with Holy Spirit. So that's all that matters. So do you have faith enough to stand in that season and to allow it to grow you, to allow it to expand you, to allow it to evolve you, so that all of your spiritual wounds, all of your spiritual holes that you have is now sealed. Those spiritual holes are now mended. They are now reinforced so that those same spiritual wounds could never reopen. When you have surgery on a wound or not a wound, but yeah, a wound. If you have surgery on a hole, if you have surgery on a opening or a a certain site, they stitch that area back together. Nowadays, they don't even have to stitch it together. They will seal it. They can seamlessly seal it together. You won't even see any wounds from a stitch because they now have the advancement to be able to seal it seamlessly. So allow Him to seamlessly seam each and every one of your spiritual wounds that has been hemorrhaging and bleeding out year after year, day after day. moment after moment. You have been hemorrhaging. Maybe you've been hemorrhaging everything that you thought was reality. Sometimes that takes a moment, that takes some time, that takes a whole season when we are bleeding out all of our norms, all of our realities, everything that we thought was real, everything that we thought was true. If we find that to be false, if we find it to be incorrect, you do have to hemorrhage those things out. Once you hemorrhage it out, allow Holy Spirit to seamlessly seal those wounds back together. You can be healed by your faith. You can allow your faith to push you through to get to the Him, to get to your moment of surrendering. Allow your faith to work for you. Now you still have to do the work on your end because faith without works is dead. So when you have faith for a thing, then you still have to put your manpower behind it. She had faith, but her works was pushing through, getting to the hem of his garment. Mind you, no one wanted to touch her. No one wanted her to even be near them because she was seen to have been diseased. But she paid that no never mind. She allowed her faith to come in the midst of everyone who ostracized her and to push her through and for her to push through all of them to get to her blessing. What is it that you need to push through? What is it that you need to stand in the middle of and pay no never mind to and push through it? What is it? What have you been hemorrhaging out moment after moment, day after day, year after year, decade after decade, generation after generation? What has been bleeding through your bloodline? It's been bleeding through your bloodline for so long that you are sick and tired of even seeing it. You're sick and tired of dealing with it. You're sick and tired of even thinking about it. Allow your faith to give you the strength to push through. Faith with works. If faith without works is dead, then faith with works is living. So allow your faith to give you the strength to push through so that you can now finally live. You can breathe. Breath is life. If you ain't breathing, you ain't living. Don't you want to breathe? Don't you want to be able to inhale deeply without taking in stuff, gunk, mess? Don't you want to be able to breathe and exhale, release, surrender? Don't you want your burden to be light? Allow your faith to give you the strength to push through whatever season that you are going through, push through whatever hemorrhaging that you have been experiencing. Allow your faith to give you the strength to surrender. Many people think that surrendering is lazy or weak. For those that are spiritually ignorant, surrender looks like a vulnerability. But that's to the spiritually ignorant. That's to the average fool. Surrendering may look like a vulnerability to someone that knows nothing of it. Surrendering may look like a weakness. Surrendering takes tenacity. Surrendering takes resilience. Surrendering isn't just doing nothing. Surrendering is doing all the work that everyone is afraid to do. People are afraid to look at themselves. You surrender your ego. You surrender what will make you appear to everyone on the outside to be doing it or making it or doing it big or winning. That takes strength, tenacity, and resilience to surrender that part of you that may want to be accepted by the outside world. People on the outside, these spiritually ignorant people, they're afraid to do the inner work. They're afraid to build up their spirit man. They're afraid of that. They don't want to look at the real them, the truth, the reality of who they are. It takes resilience to do that, to look at the ugly, the raw, the true, the unhealed, the messy, the scary, to look at all of that that's within you. That takes strength. That takes tenacity. That takes resilience. And when I say strength, I'm not meaning physical strength. That takes spiritual strength. That takes mental strength, emotional strength, every kind of strength that you can think of. Many people, you may see the strongest, physically strongest person that you know, but they are spiritually, emotionally, and mentally weak. They are spiritually, emotionally, and mentally vulnerable. So allow your faith to give you the strength to push through, to surrender it all. Whatever all is to you, allow your faith to push you through, to surrender that, whatever that is, to surrender the clout that you so desperately want, to surrender the likes, to surrender that attention. Many people don't care whether the attention that they receive is good or bad. They're indifferent to what type it is because they crave attention. That attention feeds their ego. It makes them feel important. It makes them feel like they are winning or that they are doing something in life if everyone else validates them. And people like that oftentimes don't have a mind of their own. They're either, they can become delusional, yes, because if you believe that what others think of you or for you is reality, that that can be seen as a form of delusion. Is it? Yes. Why do you give other people that much power over your life? You give other people the power to make you feel good. We all are human, so of course we have some ego about ourselves. We all want some form of validation, yes. But when you are not delusional, when you are real with yourself, then you know that that's not quite my reality though. So no matter if you did or did not like it, then I like it. So it kind of sort of really don't matter if you like it or not. Whether you liked it or not, I still like it. I'm still gonna do it. So you see, surrendering, you're giving up all of that. You're telling the Lord, less of me and more of you. I'm giving up me and I'm taking on you. I'm giving up everybody's opinion and I'm taking on you. I'm giving up their ways and I'm taking on you. I'm giving up their success and I'm taking on you. Surrender, not just to anything or anybody. Surrender to Him. The only way to stop your hemorrhaging, no matter how long that hemorrhaging has been in existence, oftentimes it is generational. So your entire bloodline has been hemorrhaging for centuries, maybe. So surrender those ways of thinking. It may be something as simple as traditions. Surrender that tradition, whatever it is. Surrender the tradition of having to be around toxic family members just because that You don't want to be seen as antisocial, or you don't want to be seen as the problem. Surrender that tradition of having to deal with just so they, whoever they is, won't have anything to say. Well, guess what? They gonna have something to say regardless. If you do or if you don't, they gonna have something to say because they want to have something to say. No matter what you do, they're gonna have something to say because they feel that they have the right to say something. So they gonna say something regardless. So why would you allow what they, quote unquote, say affect you? Will they allow what you say or think affect them? If not, then that is not a reciprocal relationship. Do they, quote unquote, have your best interest in mind? Are they, quote unquote, saying whatever that they are saying for your better good? Believe it or not, some people will, they will be a, they will give you validation. They will hop on the bandwagon. They will um, say whatever, do whatever, because that's the popular thing to do. And 8 out of 10 people, maybe nine out of 10 people that you meet are followers. That's the honest truth. 8 to 9 out of 10 people that you meet are followers. They're going to do whatever everybody else is doing. So they may not genuinely be telling you how they feel. They may just be saying whatever everyone else is saying. Do they really mean whatever it is that they are saying? Do they know themselves? All of the days in your life just may be the ones that are spiritually ignorant, that are spiritually, emotionally, and mentally vulnerable and weak. Now, should you still care what they say or what they think or how they feel? If you're spiritually weak, then you are emotionally and mentally weak as well. All of that rolls under spiritual. So if you hear me say spiritual, then just know, because like I said, one thing will attract many others. So under the umbrella of spiritual, that covers your mental and emotional balances as well. So if you're spiritually imbalanced, you are emotionally and mentally imbalanced as well. If you are spiritually vulnerable, spiritually ignorant, spiritually weak, you will be emotional and mentally imbalanced, weak, ignorant as well. So that's just a statement that I want to be known as a fact. So we have to cut out the The days cannot get, they can't affect our spirit man. At least they shouldn't. But that's the trick of the enemy. The trick of the enemy is that they want you to allow all of the days. They want to, the enemy wants you to allow all of the days. Try to say that 3 times. But the enemy wants you to allow all of the days in your life to trick you out of your spiritual inheritance, to trick you out of your spot. That's what your spot is. Whatever your spiritual inheritance is. That's why you've been hemorrhaging for so long, because they have been taking little stabs, little digs, all of these years, all of these moments, this entire season. They are probably the main ones that have been shooting daggers every time you turn around. They've been shooting spiritual daggers at you every time you turn around with their mouths. The same ones that are giving you the validation. When you turn around are probably the same ones that has been giving you the spiritual daggers that's been taken from you as well. They're trying to take your confidence. They're trying to take your sense of self-worth. They're trying to take the faith from you to make you feel like you don't deserve it. They're trying to pull the wool over your eyes to make you not see a blessing when it arrives. So you surprise them with your healing. You surprise them with your surrenderance because they are too afraid to do that work. So they will never win. If they do the same work that you do, then they will become healed and they will no longer be a op. They just may be your biggest support system. Because with spiritual knowledge, they will now know and understand your plight in life. They will now know and understand the role that they have played. They will now know and understand what their own mission is, what their own purpose is. So allow your faith to give you the strength to push through whatever it is to push through that will get you to your healing, that will get you to living again, that will get you to surrenderance. Your surrenderance will get you to your healing and your living. When you have been spiritually dead for so long, just imagine someone that has been bedridden for so long, that's been lying in a grave for so long. Once you finally stand up, you got to dust all the dirt off. You gotta stretch and allow all those bones to crack and allow all that blood to get back moving through your marrow. Those tendons have to get warmed back up. Stretch all the little nooks and crannies that you didn't even know that you have. Wiggle all your toes, all your fingers. Move your neck from side to side. Bend your knees in front of you and begin to walk. Walk in your inheritance. Walk on your throne. Walk into your new season of living, of actually living, being able to breathe in freshness, newness, life. This is living. This is now living that you once knew nothing of. You didn't know what living was while you was hemorrhaging. That's not living. Maybe your grandparents didn't know what living really was. They did the best that they knew how to do. But believe me, they hoped and they wished that you could do it better. So do it better and live, breathe, stretch. They don't want you to stretch. They don't want you to breathe. They don't want you to live. They don't want you to walk. So take up your bed and now walk.